Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. Whenever a new character drops, I do like to update the tier list a tad bit from my experience with the game, where things have possibly changed up. For whatever reason, this tier list kind of reset itself, so I'm just going to kind of put it back to where I last left it, which was... yeah, Troy was there. But I will switch that around in just a second. Actually, no, we'll leave that as is. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at right now. So first and foremost, the buffs have made this man just that even more better in my eyes. I'm gonna switch you two around. I'm gonna put that there. Actually, no, we'll do that. Sticking you around because we're buffing Jiru quite nicely, and she is now doing craziness for me, which is extremely helpful in the hard mode for Battlefield of Time. But yeah, I think for right now. Oh wait, bop you over, and I think bop you over, and I think for the most part this is kind of where I'm going to be leaving it. Cool. So there we go. Happy days for myself. So when it comes to now looking at AMAMIYA, where are we going to be placing her? This is the first wind DPS character. This is the first user of a wind typing that is producing ridiculous amount of damage, something that we have been requesting. I wonder where I'm going to be placing this character. So with AMAMIYA, it's a no-brainer. I've been having a lot of fun with her. I decided to max her out because I want that plus 80%. There is no way in God's green earth are you going to give me a DPS character and I'm not going to sit here and make sure that I'm capitalizing on getting all of her dupes to make her the best, craziest DPS character, especially from an attribute that really needs that DPSness. So that's exactly why I kind of went out of my way to get the full package. So yeah, and obviously with all of that, there's, I mean, well, the one thing which I quickly want to briefly talk about is obviously with this character, she's working off from MP, right? And once you activate the ultimate, she starts consuming 3% every 3 seconds of her MP, which is not a good thing, right? Because you want her MP, because she scales off that. But from my experience, I've not yet had that big of an issue with the MP side of things. Like, I've been using the ultimate, I've been getting rotations in, I've been doing my damage at a consistent rate, I've been hitting hard, and by the end of it all, yeah, I've not really had, which is weird because I thought I would have ran into that problem, which is then I would have probably requested more for Hansemi to support me furthermore in the MP direction, which I believe she might be doing still. But yeah, so that's actually something good to know. But then again, if you have her at A3, you'll be absolutely fine. So this is kind of like the sweet spot on where a lot of people want her to be at. Because on A3, if you guys aren't aware, when she uses her basic attack and core attack, she charges her own MP and power gauge by 1% and decreases the cooldown of her ultimate by 2 seconds. Every time she uses a basic attack and core attack, having her A3 just makes her self-sufficient. Like, she can kind of run herself. You don't need to cater to this and that, running this. You can literally just go, you know what, now I've got A3, full on offensive. I'm going to give you a full curse set. I'm going to give you a full toughness with the MP accessory set, right? You can really just cater, because that A3 really just kind of elevates some of the burden of having to consider about pushing more for the MP or finding more support for the power gauge, etc. And obviously considering looking into maybe reducing the ultimate cooldown, A3 covers all of that, and so by having that, you really do have a monster on your hand, of course. But obviously most are shooting for A1, so that way you can benefit on a kind of maximizing damage, which is again one of the recommendations that I made if you are like free to play or low spenders, etc. Just kind of at least get her to A1, so that way you can actually maximize on that damage output. But eventually in due time, as long as you get her to A3, then she is pretty much a self-working demon. There you go, when it comes to wind damage DPS, of course. Furthermore, it's just going to be a bit of a bonus. That's yeah, I mean 80%. Furthermore, that will be an absolute craziness of a bonus. But either way, what we're trying to get at is, yeah, overall she's a fantastic character in terms of buffing herself with the amount of damage buff that she can give herself, to relaying that as damage. Both her skills, percentage wise, especially in the possessed state, just does ridiculous. I would say skill 1 does more damage, even though, oh wait, I thought the percentages were the same. Hold on a minute, isn't the same? 2238. Oh, okay, second skill, so the where she jumps up and slams the enemy does more damage. Interesting. Okay, I thought type 3 skill 1 was the one that, well, for me personally, it does more damage. Also, to again, this completely slips my mind. Obviously, with everything that she's doing in terms of damage, obviously debuff is always a problem. When she enters the ultimate state, she removes debuffs from all the team members. That is just such a huge bonus. I completely forget about that, of course. So there's that. And again, another way to kind of look into recovering your MP, she has it on her QTE. So again, more on her kit, just kind of working for herself. I think the only downside I will say, which is unfortunate, is that from her support skill, she really isn't providing much, which is unfortunate. Which is very, very unfortunate. Obviously, when it comes to Jinwoo, when it comes to running wind, I mean, typically, wait, what do you do actually on your support? Do you do anything? Oh, we got a stunner. Okay, yeah. I mean, they could have at least given her a stun. I mean, yes, I feel like something could have been done here in terms of just doing her raw attack. I mean, the attack that she puts out for support is quite nice. So if that's something that we cater to and that we need, then fair play. But yeah, I think the only missed opportunity, well, not exactly missed opportunity, but the only downside to her is that support-wise for Sun Jinwoo isn't exactly there outside of just doing damage. That's it. So yeah, that's the only unfortunate thing. But her kit itself is pretty ridiculous on what she's capable of with the quickness and the consistency of the damage output and what she can do and stuff. Obviously with her weapon, straight off the bat, you know, when you start the stage, you know, she gets that big jump for the power gauge. Again, this is furthermore to kind of have your ultimate at the ready. That's kind of what the developers have gone with. And then just an added bonus, as she is a bit of a crit user in terms of the damage output that she's doing. Again, you can furthermore buff up the skill 1 and skill 2 when it comes to the crit rate and crit damage. And that is just kind of like the weapon in a nutshell, to be honest. For her, it's absolutely beautiful. Obviously, universally, it's just going to be the power gauge increase that every other character will get if you choose to utilize this weapon on them, which isn't exactly kind of neat. I mean, to be fair, for a character that needs their ultimate at the very beginning, okay, fair play, we could get something cooking for that universally, but outside of that, I don't really think that's going to be necessarily needed. So for her, great. Others, not so much. I'm glad that we've got an attacking wind character on this type of level. So, I mean, clearly you guys know where this is going to be going. We all know where she's going to be being placed in. Again, it was kind of self-explanatory, purely because it's wind. Wind literally had nothing. Here's the thing. I think the next wind DPS or any wind damage that we could expect in terms of being the next character, because I think it's going to be a bit of a wait. And the only other time that we know, again, and it's from more of a journalist side of things, from the information that has been technically leaked, is Goto Ryoju, which is being the next Arise Festival. Not the one that we're getting next, because that's Go, clearly, but the one in December. Word on the street, again, leaked a little bit early, that meaning that there's still a hell of a long time for the developers to change their mind, but apparently that is going to be the next wind character, and if that is the case, more than likely we could expect some more furthermore wind DPS potentially from that side of things, of course. But again, it's a bit of a wait, so for right now, AMAMIYA is going to be our wind damage dealer, meaning if you are in need of that wind damage, this is basically it. This is where it's at. She is the damage dealer. She's going to be holding the damage dealing for wind spot for a long period of time. I mean, Sun Jinwoo has his West Wind, so we're good on that one until we get a new wind weapon. God knows when that's going to happen. But in terms of hunters, this is who we have to use for the longest up until we get further confirmation on what they've got planned for December. I think right now there's going to be a big gap between our next wind characters. Because after September, well, leading into September, sorry, we'll get the support character for Wind, and Wind is going to be that complete package. And so, yeah, from that point on, it will just be a couple of months wait later to see if the next Arise Festival will be Wind typing. If not, then realistically, the next Wind we could very expect might be in the year of 2025. Food for thought. Food for thought.